Hello everyone, I am Matt Dixon from HarperMacaw. I'm the co-owner and chocolate maker at HarperMacaw, and we're really excited to be participating in the Stay Home with Chocolate event. Since we're all home, we're all home safe quarantining because of this nasty virus outbreak, which is, the safest thing for us all to be doing. But that doesn't mean that we can't enjoy chocolate and try to have a good time and kind of continue with life together from a distance. So I wanted to share with you guys today something that I love to do with chocolate, which is a lot of savory cooking. Chocolate is, it's sweet, it's enjoyable, and you see it a lot in desserts and pastries. You don't see it a ton in savory style cooking, which the recipe I'm going to show you guys might be a little obvious, but I'm going to do a mole. And I'm going to do a mole with HarperMacaw's 74% single origin chocolate, which we have available on our website. We're doing all online orders right now to keep everybody safe. So you can order this and any of our other chocolates right off our website. The link is in our bio, and I think when we repost this for the YouTube channel, we'll put a little link at the bottom, it's just HarperMacaw.com. So I'm going to go ahead and get started making this mole sauce, and we're also going to post the recipe for you guys as well. We'll put it up on the Instagram, and it'll have a whole breakdown of the ingredients and how we did this. But basically, I'm using some dried chilies that we got from our local store before everything locked up. But you can use chili powder in place of that if you don't have any dried chilies on hand, and you can use any chilies that you like. Basically anything that you like the flavor of that is enjoyable, you can use that. So a little bit of olive oil in the pan to start. So I hope everyone is staying safe and having a good quarantine, and catching up on all those Netflix shows that we haven't gotten to watch because we've all been so busy, and staying sane and enjoying our time off as much as we can. I know this is really hard for a lot of people, and especially us chocolate makers out here who've had to close some of our doors and focus on online orders only to make it through this. So, I'm really glad that we could all come together and do something like this to, really try and make the best of a terrible situation that we're all going through together. Alright, so now that this oil is hot, I've got about a cup of diced onions here that I'm going to throw in. I'd like to thank my wife Erin, who is our wonderful camera operator today, and is helping me out with this behind the scenes. So we're just going to saute those onions down. I'm going to throw a little salt in here, a little bit of pepper. A little bit more background on myself while these are cooking down. I'm a graduate of the Culinary Institute of America, and cooking has always been a huge passion for me. I really love both sides of the cooking world, not just making chocolate, but also baking and pastry and savory cooking as well. I know Chef Durfee at CIA California campus was doing some cooking instruction, so I was excited to watch his broadcast and kind of feel connected to my alma mater out here. And while those are cooking too, I'll tell you guys a little bit more about us at HarperMacaw. HarperMacaw is founded with the belief that we can do good in the world via chocolate, specifically, we can help to save the rainforest via chocolate. So when HarperMacaw was founded, it was founded with the idea that chocolate could be a force for tropical reforestation, and specifically in Brazil. We have a strong connection to Brazil. Most of our chocolate is made from Brazilian cacao, and we really try to showcase the flavors of the Brazilian cacao, the unique flavors that come out of cacao from Brazil, and really, really try to express that Brazil has amazing and wonderful cacao, and there's a lot of amazing and wonderful farmers out there that are really, really growing some wonderful products and maintaining sustainable agroforestry and fair labor practices. We do all direct trade with our farmers so that we have not only a relationship with them, but we're also making sure to that they're making a living wage and that we're paying a premium and fair price for to them. There's no middlemen that are taking anything from us, or from them, I should say. Those are just about there. The other exciting news for HarperMacaw is that just last month we opened a factory cafe in Georgetown in DC in a little historic row house. We make all of our chocolate there. You can come see it being made live, smell it. We are also doing a lot of baked goods and confections with our chocolate, and we also have a full cafe. So we have espresso, mochas, hot chocolates, iced chocolates. We have a wonderful, wonderful patio and seating area so that when we're all able to socialize again, you have a nice spot to hang out in the spring and summer weather that we'll hopefully be able to enjoy by the time all of this is lifted. For those of you just joining us, I just want to remind you that we are making a mole sauce with HarperMacaw's 74% chocolate. And mole originates in Latin America. It is sometimes the term used for basically any sort of red sauce made with chili peppers. Sometimes it doesn't contain chocolate, often it does. And I like mole because I find it to be very, very versatile. You can put it on enchiladas, you can put it on your eggs in the morning. I think Aaron and I are going to make some chili rellenos tonight and use it as a sauce for our chili rellenos. And it's another fun use for chocolate while you're hanging at home, trying to be creative and stay sane. All right. So now that these onions are soft and starting to brown a little bit, I'm going to throw in about a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 tablespoons of fresh jalapenos. Our dog has wandered into the scene here. You guys can't see him, but he's very excited about the mole here. Gonna let those jalapenos soften up a little bit and get nice and fragrant. It's a shame we haven't invented smell-o-vision yet, or else I could share the wonderful smells of this with you guys. Alright. Now I'm also going to throw in about 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. Alright, so let that cook down a little bit. Let the garlic get nice and fragrant and a little browned in there. And then the next thing that I'm going to add is a little mixture of dried herbs and spices. This is oregano, cumin, cinnamon, and a very, very little bit of chili powder. Because like I said, I'm going to use some dried chilies that I already rehydrated off camera, and for most of the flavoring. You can, if you don't have dried chilies, just use a lot more chili powder than we're using. That's maybe about a tablespoon in there. If you don't have dried chilies to use, you could use up to about 1/4 of a cup of chili powder to replace the chili flavor that will otherwise be missing. Man, that smells good. Alright. Oh, I lost my spices. There they are. Alright, so I'm going to throw those in the pan and let them toast up a little bit. I release the flavors, make it nice and fragrant. So I chose to use our 74% chocolate for this. It is a single origin from Val de Juliana, which is a farm in the Atlantic rainforest. Chocolate we find to have tasty notes of sort of rich candied fruit, like lemon zest, and sort of other deep chocolate notes that are sort of bright and acidic, which I wanted to bring to our mole sauce, because mole sauce can be kind of dark and spicy and rich, and I thought that that flavor profile of the chocolate would do a nice job of brightening it up, bringing a little acidity to the mole, and make it a really nice, flavorful, complex mole sauce. Alright, now that our spices are nice and in there and toasted, I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil, a couple tablespoons worth, and a little bit of just AP flour. This is going to make a bit of a roux, which will later help thicken the mole sauce. If you wanted to make this gluten-free, you could, instead of the flour, use something like cornstarch to thicken it, or just not use any thickeners at all and just reduce it for a longer period of time. And that way you're not adding any extra stuff. I don't mind using flour. I'm not gluten intolerant or anything like that, so we're using flour for this. But there are alternatives. Alright. So the next thing I'm going to add, this is about 2 cups of chicken stock. Again, this is another point where you can make this a little bit differently. If you wanted it to be vegan, you could use a vegetable stock. Or you could use a beef stock, or basically any other liquid for this other than chicken stock. We have been quarantined for a little while, and so we've been cooking quite a bit, and we just made that chicken stock fresh 2 nights ago. So it's what we had on hand, and I think it'll lend a lot of nice... Alright. Now that that's in there, I'm going to start adding our chili peppers. This is a mix of guarachita. They're 2 chilies that I really love the flavor of. And all we did is we rehydrated them in a little bit of hot water before we started the film. I'm going to throw these in, and I might, if I decide I want this to be extra spicy, I might add some of the liquid that they steamed in as well. Alright. Go ahead and let that get warmed up in here. Trying to see if anyone has asked any questions on the feed there now. Yeah, so these are just going to cook down a little bit. as they get warmed back up, I will use my immersion blender to emulsify the sauce. If you don't have an immersion blender at home, you can use a standard blender or a food processor, or you can whisk really hard if you want to have a nice quarantine workout and break everything up once it's softened. I don't know if I would recommend that one unless you're really, in need of a good quarantine workout. Maybe you've been watching too much Netflix and you feel like you got to get some exercise, but I would really recommend using a blender or an immersion blender. It's the easiest way to do it. And again, I want to remind people to check out our website, HarperMacaw.com, to learn more about us, about our chocolate, about what we do. And, I encourage everybody to check out all the other makers and great chocolate producers and growers and chefs that are involved with the Stay Home with Chocolate event. And, help support us out here while we keep you happy and sane with chocolate during these difficult times. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start blending these. As I'm blending this, the sauce is changing color and starting to pick up the color of the chilies. Nice and well blended. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, clean up the mess. I splashed myself. That's okay, because I'm not going anywhere today or tomorrow. Alright, so once that's all nice and blended and smooth, the next thing to do is going to be adding a little bit of nut butter. So we chose to use almond butter because we have plenty of it here at home and we like the flavor of almond butter. But you could use peanut butter, you can also use pine nuts, walnuts, basically any kind of nut to make your mole sauce. This is about 2 tablespoons of almond butter. And then we're also going to add about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Get that all nice and mixed in. And then soon it will be the best part, the chocolate. Waiting for that to heat back up to be warm enough, I'm going to grab a spoon so we can taste. So now I'm going to go ahead and add our 74% single origin chocolate. It's about 1/4 cup of chocolate. I like to have a really chocolatey mole. You can, of course, adjust that to your taste, your personal preference. Alright, look at that. That is a beautiful sauce. I am almost already ready for dinner tonight. Alright, it's going to give that chocolate some time to melt down and get well incorporated. And then we're going to taste our mole. Is ready. Yeah, it's really nice. It's very spicy. Again, a very, very spicy mole. You can always use different peppers and remove the seeds and remove all of the pith that holds the seeds, because that's where all the heat is. I particularly love spicy food. I love very spicy food. And again, this sauce can be used for many different things. I think it's really versatile. If you make eggs in the morning, maybe sprinkle some tortilla chips and some of this sauce on your eggs. You can use it as an enchilada sauce. Cook chicken in it. I think Aaron and I are going to make some chili rellenos tonight. We're going to use it as a sauce for our chili rellenos. And yeah, you can store it in the refrigerator for about a week and a half, or you can freeze it for a couple months. It'll last a good long time. I think that's it for today's cooking with chocolate here. I actually think I have a few more minutes, so I might show you guys another little somewhat savory thing that I like to do with chocolate at home. I don't know if you all noticed, but I was toasting some bread over here. This is a little whole wheat bread that we did make at home a couple days ago. I just have some butter, unsalted butter. I'm going to butter my toast here. This will be a good afternoon snack to hold me over until we're ready to make the chili rellenos later. Yeah, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of our 74% chocolate chunks right on the bread with the butter. And I'm going to spread a little sea salt on there as well. And that's a perfect little chocolate snack. Really, at any time of day, you can have this snack. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I used to get in trouble as a little kid for doing that with M&Ms. My parents would put me in a lot of timeouts for doing that all the time. I can promise you this is a lot better than... Again, I'll remind everybody to check us out at HarperMacaw.com. We'll put up a link. Our link is also in our Instagram bio. And please stay tuned for many, many, many more wonderful makers. Many more wonderful makers, chocolate growers, chefs, all participating in the Stay Home with Chocolate event. And we can't wait to see you when we're all back out of quarantine. Please come visit us in Georgetown if you're a DC local, and order online. We're shipping, and we're doing 15% off all orders right now to cover the cost of shipping, so everyone can stay home and stay safe and be happy with lots and lots and lots of chocolate. Have a good rest of your afternoon, everyone. Bye.